Cindy. We're going to be joined by my son Elijah, but we want to get right to the story that's going on in Ukraine, the recent bomb attack.
As Edward Godfrey reports, the ballistic missile strikes came just hours after the latest round of peace talks.
The attack came as many civilians were out on the streets heading to Palm Sunday church services. 2 ballistic missiles striking Sumi's city centre in northeastern Ukraine. One hitting a bus, a building destroyed. Firefighters and emergency responders once again confronted with a scene of devastation. The enemy intended to inflict maximum damage to the people, the region's military boss says. The strikes killing dozens, including children, more than 115 others injured. It's one of the deadliest airstrikes this year. Ukraine's president not holding back. They hit the city centre on Palm Sunday. Only filthy scum can act like this, he says.
I think it was terrible, and I was told they made a mistake, but I think it's a horrible thing.
It comes just 2 days after White House envoy Steve Witkoff met with Russian President Vladimir Putin for another round of ceasefire talks. Negotiations President Trump had seemed optimistic about. His special envoy to Ukraine posting, the attack crosses any line of decency. It comes less than a fortnight after a strike on Mr. Zelensky's hometown killed 20. Right now, any hopes of achieving peace appear to be all talk and no action. In London, Edward Godfrey, 9 News.
Excuse me. Play you for those on
It's a lot that's going on with this war. It's like a never-ending war, and you would think at this point that that there would be more negotiations. I don't know. It's been so quiet. It's like we're here in the United States and we're dealing with a lot ourselves. Our president, we want him to put America first, but he's really appearing to be the president of the world. So anyway, we want to join 60 Minutes did a story with Zelensky. I know he likes using American media. So let's see what they have to say. We're going to react.
The story will continue in a moment.
He said like he killed 9 children, but I don't know. It's like the United States, we have to look at our president of the United States of America. It's like our president is dealing with 14 million homeless illegal immigrants that have invaded this country because of the last administration. He has to deal with 2 wars, not just in Ukraine, and is a war going on in Gaza. So he's dealing with that. Also, he has to deal with inflation, the economy, the state of the country that was handed over to him. He's dealing with tariffs. He's trying to get the rest of the world to, like the 170 countries that have already put tariffs on our country. And he's saying he wants it to be fair. So he's negotiating throughout the world that they will be fair with the United States. And like we had another company that's now going to invest like $500 million. What was the name of the company? Navita or something like that. They're going to put $500 million into the United States along with Apple. They're putting in $500 million. You got Hyundai, they putting in 22 million or whatever. I forget how many millions, but this is the only president that I have witnessed that's trying to bring money back into the country. So I understand Zelensky, like his perils, but our president has to focus on America first. Like the only thing that Zelensky wants, and his only resolve is he already used our money. So he's like, I want to buy equipment from the United States, but you want to buy it with our money, or maybe now the money that you've gotten from Europe. But it has to come a time that we have to get back on our feet. Our military, we got to build back up our military. We have to build back up our economy. We have to take care of the United States citizens of America. And if it wasn't for these past administrations that had done nothing about the $36 trillion in debt that we have, we're supplying, China, they're making $1 trillion per year off of selling goods to the United States. And that's thanks to former President Bill Clinton, when they outsourced our jobs and our resources to China. China they're doing commercials now saying that 80% of, say, all those handbags, Birkin bags, and all those Gucci's and all that, it comes out of China. They just changed the name tag, and people are paying $30,000 because they send them back, I guess, to the manufacturers once they leave China, and they put their little label on it. Now the bag is worth $30,000, and they're saying it's the same quality, it's the same, you know, materials, it's the same everything. And they're escalating the price. And here we have Zelensky saying, like, he's supposed to drop everything. Everything. And he's supposed to go to their country when we have a boatload of our own problems. And all this takes time. That he thought that he was getting closer to a negotiation, but the longer this takes, the more emboldened Putin is becoming, and the more land that Zelensky is going to lose, because we're not going over there. Now, if there are American citizens that want to go and fight the war, then they're free to go. If you want to give your life, because I see people like in the different comments, because this was 60 Minutes, they're like, oh, he's a paid, this guy is like, you know, Zelensky's a real hero. No, Zelensky is doing a lot of dirt. That's why they call him a dictator as well as Putin, because he's doing stuff similar to Putin. They're grabbing people off the streets and they're making them go fight these wars. He's not letting the press speak. He's doing things with the church that, you know, and anybody that's speaking out against them, he's locking them up as well. So he has, and Zelensky does not want to give up power.
Someone commented.
What did they say?
2 people commented.
Zelensky don't want to give up power.
You see?
Uh-huh.
Someone said stop telling lies, and someone else said, why on earth would Zelensky want war? And Trump doesn't care less. Do not kid yourself.
Listen, Zelensky was a comedian. Zelensky is an actor. Zelensky has a taste of power. Zelensky does not want to end this war. And Trump even told him, he said, look, if we could do a ceasefire, we could do all this. Zelensky he doesn't want to end the war, because they cannot have elections until this war is over. So the people don't want him as president. They're complaining, but you can't hear them. Because, you know, you can't hear them because silence can't be heard. They're not allowing the people to get out and talk. And everyone that says that they want to support him, they need to go over there and fight for him. They need to go and give their lives to Ukraine and fight that endless war. And that's the last thing he wants. He doesn't want it to end. And Putin probably doesn't want it to end. You know, it's always about power and money. It's about power and money. This man likes the position that he's in. He's enjoying the power, but he doesn't have a leg to stand on. He's not in NATO. And what he really wants, and he said it over and over again, if you're fine, he wants America to fight this war. He wants the United States, because they can't win this war. He wants the United States for our citizens, and anybody who wants to can go over there and fight. But there's no shelter there. The only thing to stop a bullet is a body. So what he really wants is more bodies over there.
Now they said who started the war.
It doesn't matter. What matters is who ends the war. That's what matters. What matters is ending the war. Ending the war. If Putin started the war, it's because we had a weak government over here in the United States of America. They were dealing with Biden. Everyone manipulated Biden. Biden was suffering from dementia. He wasn't even running his country. Okay, if you're on here from the United States of America, you know that Biden was not the president. He was not the president. And they were able to get $350 billion out of this government, and we're taking care of 240,000 of Ukrainian citizens that's on our Social Security and are getting SNAP. So we're paying a price. And Trump was like, why isn't Europe paying more? Why are we paying all of this? And Europe, they were just living their lives. They weren't giving money to support Zelensky. We supported Zelensky. But Zelensky, if they're kidnapping people off the street, they want people to go over there, and they want the United States to get into a war. And then Trump already know if the United States get involved, guess what's going to happen? For the few people that's on here, guess what's going to happen if the United States send troops and we get involved? What's going to happen? I want all the smart people to educate us. What's going to happen if the United States get involved in this war. That we're already supplying, equipment, medical supplies. We're supplying all that we can. We even supply those long-range missiles that have gone inside of Russia. But if we get involved, that's World War III. Because Putin, who's Putin allies? Is it China? How many people are in China? 1 billion? They can keep sending people. China's going to get involved. Guess who else is going to get involved? You ever heard of President North Korea? He has a backup too. So then the whole world is going to be fighting for land, or a strip of land that's no bigger than Texas. But we all going to fight for this land that's going to destroy the world. Then everybody going to start dropping nuclear bombs. That's what our president is trying to avoid. Now, guess what? Zelensky still is not trying to sign any mineral deal. How many times have Trump, guess what? They signed it with the UK. They're getting all their money back, anything they invested, and then some. But he still hasn't signed a mineral deal with the United States. We had no money, no return on our dollar with this war that we have been helping. But what Zelensky wants, because he was like, oh, you're big. He's like, the United States can fight. I just want to make sure anybody dogs.
Yeah, Zelensky, I don't know what people in the chat are saying, but he wants to war. He doesn't seem like, because it's going to keep him in power, keep him in charge. They asking you stuff.
What?
They said, do you support Trump military parade?
What military parade? I don't support, what I support is the United States of America. How about that? What I support is putting America first. How about that? What I support is us taking time, because we have a boatload of problems that we need to resolve here. We need housing for our citizens. We need our vets off the street. We're taking care of the world, but we can't get to people in North Carolina. We can't get to our own military, our soldiers that fought for this country. We already have homeless Americans, but we're going to bring in 14 million homeless people, and we're going to prioritize them above American citizens. So we sent $350 billion to Ukraine. How much did Europe send? And what he really wants, and he said it in other interviews, is that he like, America's big. America can fight. America. And Trump is like, no, we're not trying to start World War III, because we talking about all these people. China got nukes. Russia got nukes. North Korea got nukes. What are we going to do?
Hugo, do you have a
Somebody got to be smart.
Hugo, do you have a therapist?
Have you heard about
someone has to be smart.
Sounds like you need one.
Someone has to be smart. You just can't keep, and plus, it's not our war. They're not even part of NATO. It's not our war, but we are helping. So Trump doesn't have time right now, because he's been trying to negotiate, but we have our own problems. He's dealing with stuff every single day, every day. And he's trying to take care of America. Right now, he's trying to get us on our feet, because no other president attacked that $36 trillion debt that we have. Somebody had to do something. Guess what? In 10 years, Social Security is going to run out. So people are paying into Social Security. Guess what? They say we got 2 million illegal immigrants that were given Social Security numbers and collecting Social Security. So we got all this fraud that's going on inside of our government that needs to be cleaned up. So it's a lot that's going on. But meanwhile, Trump been trying to negotiate with Zelensky. He came over here, and we're going to show it. He got in his news. He had the American media, and he took the opportunity after listening to Democrat leaders telling him that we're staying with you. This is time that you can go at Trump and try to back him into a corner. You can't back the head honcho. If you want something from someone, you can't attack them and then say, give me this. You got to know how to humble yourself. You have to know how to show respect, especially when you want something. But one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to send our young men and women over there to another country and fight their war. We're not going to do that. We're going to put America first. And this is the whole point of why the American citizens has spoken. That's why Trump won all the swing states, all the swing. That's why he won the popular vote. They said that was the first time in like 27 years that a Republican has even won the popular vote. We don't want this mess. We want Trump to clean up our backyard. And guess what? Everything he said he was going to do, he's doing. And he's not turning his back on Ukraine.
The man of his word.
He's been keeping his word. And when the last time a Democrat has kept their word about anything? The only thing they do, and they still doing, is hollering fire, fire, pants on fire. They have done nothing for this country but destroyed it. You want to check out? And I voted in the previous election in 2020. I voted for that freaking leadership. And if I had known that they were going to open up those borders, if I had known that they were going to destroy this country with the inflation they caused, the economy that they caused, all the same-sex marriages and running on abortion, if I knew that that was their whole campaign or what they were going to do, I would have never voted for them. And as long as they don't live up to biblical principles, I will never vote for them again.
Yeah, and to the people in the chat, if you don't agree with us, and just write a response, that's your argument of why.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, what is your response? You know, this guy now he's on 60 Minutes, and his whole thing is like
that's
60.
Not true, not your friend.
60 Minutes is totally caving in to everything he's saying, like they're not Americans. Oh, Zelenskyy. Yeah, Zelenskyy. Check out who Zelenskyy is.
Someone said you voted for the wrong one.
Yeah, I did. But not this time. And I do have family members mad at me and everything. I campaign. When I say I campaign, listen, I'm not a regular voter.
We're just not sheep, dude. It's time for you to wake up.
You know, I was phone banking. I'm a leader. I was giving rallies with thousands of people to get that man elected.
Be your own person. Don't just follow an idiotic mentality.
But now, after I saw who were the wolves in sheep clothing, it's the Democrats. They are the wolves in sheep clothing. And you know what they're doing right now? Only thing they're doing is talking about Trump. But where are the solutions? Tell me anything that they are resolving, or what? Tell me their plans. What are their plans? What are they doing to make this a better country?
Did you see what Trump did for Black History Month?
You know what? You know what? We elected Biden, which, forgive me, God. That man was the author of the 1994 crime bill that caused mass incarceration of Black people. You think that everything that happened to this country wasn't from the last 4 years? Are you kidding me? These people act like that Trump was the president for the last 4 years. Trump been in office under 100 days or whatever. This mess, he inherited this mess. The wars, the economy, the inflation, high egg prices, gas prices, housing, everything. He inherited from that jacked up Democratic administration.
And Kamala did the same thing.
And the only thing they are doing is nothing. Nothing. They don't tell us your plan. All these years, they still don't have a plan. Tell us something differently. Bring money into this country. How about they do some negotiation like Trump and have, like Trump got Apple $500 million. He got this other company. What's the name of it? What's that company? $500 million now. Nvidia. What did you? Nvidia, something like that. $500 million. What about Hyundai? $22 billion. He's bringing in like $1 trillion. Look at all the waste that they're finding. And listen, I don't agree with everything. You'll see videos on that.
The funny part is Trump has done more for Black people than Barack Obama did.
And Biden. And Kamala. You know, Kamala and Biden, all they did was lock black people up.
She was only black.
That's what they did. She was trying to get a notch on her belt. She had somebody on death row, was right in court trying to. That's how they show they're a tough DA or whatever her title was.
Who didn't even do the crime.
Who didn't do the crime was proven innocent. You know, because Gavin Newsom came around and did a DNA, and then they saw that the man was completely innocent. But she was ready to put that man to death.
Oh, I love you too. So I said, love you guys.
I love you too. So, you know, it's like all this sympathy, and we got 60 minutes. They over there, and like our president, he has to deal with us. We already had, America always comes to the rescue of everyone except for this country, men. The countrymen here, we're the last on the list. Nobody think that they're supposed to prioritize American citizens. All the benefits and everything are given to foreigners before it's given to us. Even the Democratic Party.
I gotta reply to this. Christopher, simple reply to that is Trump doing the First Step Act and getting black people who are locked up in jail, who are there for misdemeanors and small crimes, out of prison.
Yeah, he got that passed in Congress, not Obama.
Not Joe Biden.
Not Joe Biden, none of them. Okay, that was Donald J. Trump. And he's the one that, you know, gave money to the HBCUs to the point that they didn't have to come begging for money, for lack of a better word, every year. So Trump has done far more, but it's time for our president to focus on American citizens.
Someone brought up January 6th.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
That's their go-to.
You know, what have the Democratic Party done for this country but put us in the state that we're in?
Look what someone said. They said, black and Latino for Trump all day. We love Trump. Democrats use us for their own gain. Exactly.
That's all they do. All they do is make promises. They come around every 4 years and make promises, especially to the black community. The black community has been voting for the Democratic Party for probably the last 60 years. And all they do is make promises and they deliver on nothing. They promise an anti-hate crime bill, a George Floyd bill, a John Lewis bill that we never got.
Haha, you could look it up. He did give money to HBCUs.
And you know who got money? I mean, who got an anti-hate crime bill, excuse me, it was the Asians.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
God is good. You know, we're so thankful to God, but, you know, we're not going to, the thing about this is called Speak the Truth for a reason. And it's called that because of the fact that, you know, you're not going to get it from the media. The media is not telling all the story. We have 60 Minutes, American news program that's over there trying to downplay and trash talk our president of the United States of America. That's what they're doing. Now, see, if the Democrats have had their way, because see, the truth will manifest. All that money that all of them somehow are multi-millionaires, all those Democratic Congress people, they multi-millionaires. Their salaries are like $172,000 a year. And they're all multi-millionaires. They following that money now. And all those people that's getting Social Security, that's not supposed, they even allowed the illegal immigrants to vote. 5 months after they got here, they gave them Social Security numbers.
Yeah, and can Trump do anything right for you?
And you know that they're collecting Social Security that we are paying into, that's going to them. Well, how about the money going to American citizens? How about stop giving American citizens a hard time from getting benefits? How about that? You know, how about, tell me something that the Democrats have done for this country. I'll wait. Other than destroy it. I'm talking about something positive. What have they done? And they got, who they have? Bernie Sanders running around, who I've met. I met all of them. All of them. Every presidential candidate, I met them.
And AOC.
I met all of them. They're running around now, talking about Bernie Sanders been running around for years. It's a tape, it's a guy. And for years, he's been calling it oligarchy, or however you pronounce it, excuse me. And this is something that they say over, but what are they doing for America?
Someone said another lie. Immigrants can't collect Social Security.
Do
you folks do any research?
Oh, they are. Oh, they gave them Social Security numbers. Did you do your research? Did you do your
They're
research?
just talking from there.
Do your research, because we are not all knowing, but we do know that much. Okay? They've been giving Social Security numbers. Are you aware of that? It's been all on all the news programs, even the ones that you like CNN. Everybody's been talking about it. So you can look up your facts. You can do a fact check. Do a fact check and see if it's true or not. See what's true and what's not true.
Hey,
You know, so we have to understand when we have people that's actually fighting for us.
got a black person saying you're in a cult.
They paid into it. They haven't been here long enough to pay into it. They've been here 5 months and got Social Security numbers, and they gave them Social Security. They haven't been here long enough. That was so that some of them could work.
And somewhere said they don't even pay taxes.
No, they don't.
pay
They let them put up stands. You can't go to your city and put up a stand on the sidewalk and see what happens. See, another thing, guess what? They don't have to follow our laws.
Thank you.
The laws are for American citizens. They don't have to follow the laws.
Oh, now Terry says they do pay taxes.
No, they don't.
That's something new.
How are they paying taxes when they can't work? Only ones that were given the Social Security numbers, unless they're working under the table. But if you're working under the table, you don't pay taxes when you work under the table. Come on, y'all. You think 14 million of them that came in this country are paying taxes? They're not paying no taxes. Why are they on our Social Security? And see, this stuff is proven. It's proven. What about United States citizens? And guess who created the problem in the first place? Guess who created this whole big problem? And it wasn't because they loved them or loved illegal immigrants. Well, guess who created this big problem for America?
Terry, you could just look it up for yourself.
Who created this problem? Did you ask yourself why? Why would any country allow over 14 million homeless people to come into their country, unvetted, and allow the criminals to come in as well? What country does it? Can you go to China? Go to China right now and say, give me a house, a car, money, food. Give me supplies over your citizens. I want to see what President Xi has to say to you. Go to Russia. Go to Europe. Go any country. And let's hear your rights.
Exactly.
Let's hear your rights. That would be interesting. And you know who done this to us? The Democrats did this.
Someone said a great comment. They said, I don't understand why the Democrats don't educate themselves.
I don't know what else they got to do.
They just come here and speak nonsense.
I really don't know.
Don't look anything up.
They see the condition. Did y'all see the condition of our former president? Did y'all see him like the rest of us saw him on TV? Did y'all see the state that he was in? Did y'all see this man that was supposedly was running the country? Did y'all, come on now, y'all got to be real. This is called speak the truth.
What do you think about Kamal's word solids?
You know, did y'all see him? Did y'all hear him? He couldn't even stay on subject to know what he was even talking about. He was used and abused. He wasn't running this country. Who was running the country? Can one of the Democrats tell me who was running the country when Biden was the face of America? You know, he was a laughing stock. We look real dumb that we elected that man into office.
Also saying, does the world live in the past? That's anytime you bring
This is
Biden
still-
up, that's what they say.
He was just president 2.5 months ago. What are you talking about? You know what we're going through is a reflection of that previous administration. You know that it didn't end because Trump got sworn in January the 20th. You are aware that Trump is not the cause of all this mess. And I love what he's doing as far as with the terrorists because we standing on business. We standing on business. All this time, nobody complained about prior to this 170 countries putting tariffs on us. And guess what? They've been overcharging and we've been overpaying, but nobody got a problem with that because our own leaders were taking advantage of us. China now is angry. China now, look, they trying to put it out there how America, these companies have profited off of the citizens. They say,
Yeah.
don't blame us because y'all have a stupid government.
Yeah.
That's what the Chinese said.
Yes, Buckle.
It's not our fault that y'all ain't know how to put y'all money back into your country. Don't get mad at us because we did infrastructure and we build our country up. Guess what? They build their army up off of us. $1 trillion they made last year. Did you hear that? $1 trillion of American money went over to China.
Chanel said Obama had a third term, so why can't Trump have a third term? Yeah.
Yeah. Because this mess is going to take more than 4 years. And then we got this actor, Zelenskyy. He is not what he appears to be.
Comedian.
He's a comedian. He's an actor. That's why Putin don't respect him, because he's not, he's never ran probably even a state before. And now he's president of a country that's in a war. And guess what? People love power.
Rebecca, then what are we missing? Because what are we missing?
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Speak the truth. And I do have another channel, Let's Pray About It. Y'all can check that out.
Christopher and President. You forgot President.
The war was started by who? Okay. Who wants to answer that? A war was started by whom? Who started the war?
Oh, now someone called us fascist.
Who started the war? Russia. Okay. Russia started the war. It's a war that Ukraine, that's like 10 times smaller than Russia, that they're not going to win, right? So who's going to end this war? We know who started it, but who's going to end? How are we going to end this war? How are we going to end it? You think sending Americans, you Americans, y'all want to go over there? Y'all want to fight for Zelenskyy? Because there's not enough bodies that's going to satisfy him. He don't want to give up on minerals. He doesn't even want to. The mineral deal is for us to get back some of that money, those billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars we sent over there. He won't even do the mineral deal. He don't want to give us nothing back. But guess what he wants? Oh, he's going to tell us, I'll pay you for weapons. You're going to pay us for weapons with the money we gave you? Are you kidding me? Well, who's going to end the war? Now, if Trump is right about this, if he don't end it soon, now you lost a little strip of your land, but guess what? The longer this war goes on, the more territory Putin's going to take. The more. He wants to be equal footing with Putin. Zelenskyy is not on equal grounds with Putin.
Scott Ryan, imagine not understanding the English language.
We're not going to be a part of it. Zelenskyy is going to wind up with no country. And it's going to become Russia if he doesn't get to the table. Because prior to all of this, they were trying to bring it together. But Zelenskyy, he went over Europe and trying to get money from them, try to get money from all these different other avenues.
I was actually the Trump supporter first.
Trying to get money from everyone else. Zelenskyy been doing his rounds, getting money, and he gonna tell the United States, "I'll pay you for weapons. Give us our $350 billion back."
Someone said, "So why are groceries still high then?"
So it's supposed to end after 2 months, right? Why didn't you ask Biden that for 4 years? Where were you for the last 4 years? It's just mind-boggling that nobody had. Y'all saw the condition of that man and the condition of that vice president. Don't act like y'all didn't see what Kamala was. Kamala couldn't even speak to the media. How was she going to be a world leader? Because when you're the president of the United States, you're supposed to be leader of the world. You're supposed to be calling the shots. This woman, every time I see her, she appears to be drunk. And then she can't talk without a teleprompter or a script. That's not a leader. You think that Kamala was going to be making these deals like Trump? You think that Kamala would have gained the respect of the world like Trump? Do y'all really think that with her or Biden, we saw what happened with Biden. Y'all have to at least be honest about that. Maybe they weren't the right candidates, but y'all have to agree. Who y'all want now? AOC or Jasmine Crockett? Which one y'all want? Which one?
Can't even spell dumb.
Which candidate do you want to run for president? Jasmine Crockett or AOC? Those are the running two leaders right now. Who do you think? Who you want? Oh, y'all want both of them be president, vice president? Y'all think they the ones, right? What are they doing for this country? What decisions are they making? How are they making America, putting America first? Because the only people, the honest to God truth, hear this. The only people I hear them speaking up for are illegal immigrants. I don't hear them and talking about Trump like an election is still going on and that he's already won. He's all of our president. Whether you like him or not, when Biden was president, I had to accept it. When Trump was president before, I had to accept
When Obama was president.
When Obama was president, we accepted
When Kamala was vice president.
And when Kamala was vice president, we accepted it. He's our president
The people in the chat
of all Americans.
The people in the chat want
Nah.
Bernie and AOC as president.
Bernie not gonna be around to be like, he gotta wait 4 years. How old is Bernie? Like 88? Bernie's like 88, 86. He gotta wait 4 years if he wanted to run, and then 4 years in the presidency. His time has passed. But who they got? Oh, Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith. That's who they have. Stephen A. Smith. Come on now. Stephen A. Smith. And that's not throwing any shade at him. But now he told me, I might as well throw my hat in, because he's looking at the people. What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? Martin Luther King died for us to speak the truth. You saying that Martin Luther King was a pastor? You think that he spoke lies? You think that Martin Luther King would be for abortion? He's a pastor. You think Martin Luther King would have been for same-sex marriages? You think Obama would have been for men and women's sports? Do you think that Martin Luther King would be for Transgender Day on Resurrection Sunday? So I'm just saying, because the Democratic Party, when he was alive, is not the same Democratic Party of today. It has changed. There was no LGBTQ plus when Dr. Martin Luther King was alive. There was no same-sex marriages when Dr. Martin Luther King was alive. So all this stuff that you see going on, I could go on and on. The Democratic Party of yesteryear is gone. It's changed. This Democratic Party is for everything going against the word of God. Everything against Jesus. And that's what I had to look at. Okay, so Dr. Martin Luther King would not be for it because he was a pastor. He was a Christian. And he's not going to go against his father, Jesus. So we don't serve man, we serve God. And this channel is Speak the Truth, because what Trump does, we call it out. Everybody calls out everything he does. But my problem is nobody talk about the bull crap on with the Democrats. And that's what I don't understand. And this is a former Democrat. You know all black people are Democrats. Okay? But I can call out the crap.
Vicky, okay, you tell me this. Tell me what Joe Biden did for Easter and tell me what Trump did for Easter. And I'll wait for your reply on that.
So what did she say? She
said claiming God, yet saying that the current administration is for God is funny.
You know what?
They like day of visibility.
This week, Trump is going to be doing a lot, and we're going to stream it, acknowledging Jesus and acknowledging the Christian holiday. What Biden did? You know, Google it, fact check it. Biden came out on his balcony, the audacity to come out on his balcony, and he's going to acknowledge Transgender Day on Easter Sunday. Jesus died for our sins. He rose again, and that's what he acknowledged on Easter Sunday. A holiday that's been celebrated for thousands of years. He's going to put transgenders, which is his new thing, because he's the grandfather of the transgenders. Obama is the father of LGBTQ, because that was in part, you always had homosexuality from the beginning of time, but the LGBTQ belongs to Obama and transgender belonged to Biden, and he took his and the illegal immigrants. Yeah, that belongs to Biden, and he gonna take his behind out on a balcony on a holy day like Easter and not acknowledge our Lord and Savior, but he's going to acknowledge transgender.
And in the name of it too, Day of Visibility.
And everything Trump does, yeah, he called the Day of Visibility.
We're supposed to pay attention to God. He made it pay attention
One
to
day.
them. Pay attention to these brainwashed, manipulated, sick people.
And just in case you don't know what a woman is, if you're a Democrat, y'all can't define a woman. A woman has been defined since the beginning of time. Since God created the heavens and the earth, when he made Adam and Eve, women have been defined since the beginning of time. It's like the smarter we get, now all of a sudden, like the last might be 10 years or less. I don't know how long transgender movement has been going on, but it's only been a minute. Now all of a sudden, they don't know how to define what a woman is. Everybody on here was birthed by a woman. Start with that. Everybody on here was given birth by a woman. And over 2,000 years, a woman has been defined. And all of a sudden, all these smart people, all these Democrats, all of a sudden, they want to look at a man. They're going to look at, it's only two genders, period. I don't care what you do. That DNA will never change. It's only going to always be a woman or a man. The DNA will never change, and there's no doctor that can recreate a human being. It's not going to happen. They cannot change your sex. There's no such thing as transgender. There's such thing as gay men or gay women, because transgenders are really just gay people that want to be acknowledged the opposite sex that they're not. They don't want to accept the sex that they are, but they want us to acknowledge the sex that they are not. So once the Democrats start doing that,
Sayonara.
Goodbye. It's like
Adios.
adios. I don't know what happened to the Democratic Party, but they just lost their way. There's no leadership. There's nothing on the table, with no plans, no resolutions, no focus. Who's running? Who's leading? Hakeem Jeffries, Schumer? They trying to kick him out because he agreed with Trump. You know who? Bernie Sanders. They doing this. You're doing rallies, but for what? You're not fighting for anything. What are you fighting for? What are you bringing to the table?
They said stop oligarchy.
Yeah, stop oligarchy. They look. Guess who's been saying that for the last 20 years? That's been Bernie Sanders. They did some guy. I should have looked it up. He did a video. That's what Bernie been saying for they did the years 2005. He said the same thing. 2007, 2009, 2011. He been saying that for. I was like, oh my God. He's been saying this for years. You know. So this is just what he says. But what are they standing on? Just enlighten me. I don't know. What are they standing on? What are they bringing to the table? Except for destruction. And then we got this guy, Zelenskyy, like Trump supposed to drop everything, send more money over to his country. Or want to send our young people over there to fight for somebody other country with a war that's not going to be won. It's not going to be won. Even if we got involved, let's be real. Even if we got involved, which we are involved, but even if we send our soldiers over there, it's going to be repercussions, right? We're smart on here. The repercussions is going to be what Russia going to do? He got the biggest ally. Guess who got the most people? China. What you think going to happen? What? Our military is not built up like it used to be. These freaking people, the Democrats been in leadership for 12 of the last 16 years. And y'all want to say something to Trump. When Trump was in office, we actually had a great economy. We didn't have any wars. None of this stuff was going on. But y'all don't want to, you have people on here, but you're going to hear this. You listening. You're listening. You can be in denial all you want to, but we're living it. We've been going through it. So you know what the truth is, and the truth hurts. Because people don't want to admit the truth. You can't tell me that that president was fit for duty. You can't tell me that America was better with Biden as the president. And all this stuff that's going on right now, they're responsible for it. Trump is clean. He's the cleanup man. He's trying to clean up what they have done. And who's going to deal with the trillions of dollars, $36 trillion debt? Who's going to handle that? How long can we go without anybody handling the debt that this country has? Because you know we've been the ATM for the world. Everybody's been taking advantage of America, and that's what Trump's been saying. Even the sharks from that program, they on it. They said we should be charging 400% tariffs, what China's been doing to us and all these countries. They've been taking advantage of America, and we $36 trillion in debt. China owns half the country. Everybody owns America except for America. And you got people on here still not with the program. And if you're an American citizen, I mean, you gotta want this country to get better. Thank you. You know, you have too many Americans, just like they did the hands off rally. Hands off for what? Hands off rally. What was accomplished? What were they fighting for? There was nothing.
Yeah, and Wyatt said, why do people watch this lady spit facts and just not listen?
They hear it. They hear me.
They refuse to look. They refuse to.
You know, the people don't want to admit the truth because you know what happened? To be honest, you know what happened? They talk so badly about, I believed it. I understand. When they was talking about Trump for years, talking about he's Hitler, he's a threat to democracy, he's going to get rid of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
Why you pick which comment to read? LOL.
I believe them. I believe that Trump.
Read all the comments.
I believe that Trump was a danger to America. I believe everything. I used to listen to Morning Joe, MSNBC, CNN, every freaking talk show, Rachel Maddow. I thought they were preaching the gospel. I watched all the shows, and I believed everything that they had said about this man until I opened up my eyes and I start seeing that the party is not the same party of yesteryear. I believe it. The media has influenced people so much, and they only focus on hate. And guess what? That takes their responsibility off their shoulders. As long as the Democrats have you hating Trump, no matter what he does, he could stop the wars, they still gonna hate him. He could stop the war in Ukraine, they still gonna hate him. He could stop the war in Gaza, they still gonna hate him. He could find a cure for cancer, they still gonna hate him. No matter what he does, the media is gonna make sure if they keep that hate, that means that takes the responsibility off of them. That's what happens. The Democrats thrive off of you hating Trump and you not open up your eyes and just look at it. I know it takes a lot of courage to look at it, especially when you believe in something, but when I start looking at what was going on, I had to, put myself in check. I had to say, this party is not what I believe in. I'm a Christian. Not just by name, Christians by actions. I can't support somebody at their rally, the DNC. I was at the one in 2020. It was the best I've never seen so many camera people. I met every star, everybody you could think of. Because I was right there on the floor. I am not just someone on here. I have participated in a big way.
Dang, MB, why you got a crush on me, bro? You need to chill with that.
And being a part of it and being up front and center, I got to see a lot and I got to learn a lot, but I was so blinded by the news media and what they were saying instead of looking at their actions. They didn't do anything for Black people. They never do. They promised Black people everything every 4 years. And this time they didn't even promise it. They just gave us a show with Megan Thee Stallion, and they got every star out there that they paid to get you to vote for them. They paid all these stars to vote. They spent, who spends $1.5 billion in 3 months and go broke and be $22 million in debt? $22 million in debt.
Dang, to the guys watching, I'm into girls. I don't know why y'all keep talking about like saying I look good and stuff, but I'm into girls. I'm into girls.
But it's okay. And the people that are blind, they don't want to see. And the people's on here, they probably not Americans, because they're not Americans. You got to understand, people that's on here, they're not Americans. They from all around the world, and they're not even citizens. So they like how the country is. The country is good for them, but it hasn't been good for American citizens. We've been last on the list. American citizens have not been prioritized. And with the Democratic administration, the Democrats, if you listen to them, they're not talking about you Americans. They're talking about the immigrants. They're fighting harder for them than they are for you. Matter of fact, they don't even fight for you. They fight for every story. They fighting for the immigrants. They are not fighting for you. They're not fighting for your welfare. They're not fighting for your housing. They're not fighting for anything. They yell and scream about Medicare, and he's not even attacking Medicare. He want to get all these illegals and people that are supposed to be on it off of it. Because if he doesn't, we're going to run out of Social Security in 10 years. They said in 2035. So we got to get all these people off of it, or it's not going to be anything for people who have put money into it.
Yeah, iPlant is saying that we need some mods.
We need some mods.
Yeah,
Yeah, mods usually get on. Like, we just popped on. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. We got to show some of the mods. We'll look on here and see if we can find some mods that we can make a mod.
Good mod.
Who?
I plant seeds.
Well, make her a mod
Okay.
when she comes back up. Or FJ. Yeah, FJB too. Sydney's telling the truth. Yeah, he sound good. Yeah, we're looking for some mods so they can just to let the mods know, we want them on here. We like hearing what some of these people are saying, but they have to be respectful. You can, your mod, you can just be respectful. We're going to hear what you have to say. We want you on here because you got to have dialogue. If we get rid of every negative comment, then that's just about everybody. My son, he going to make some of y'all some mods, because we do need them on here. So, it's like people, that's why America's great, because you're entitled to your opinion. Nobody said that you have to agree with us. You can agree to disagree. Okay, but what happens is the Democrats, they get so angry, and the only way that they can project is just to be mad. But come with some dialogue, come with some evidence, give us some of your facts. I mean, enlighten us. We allow you to speak, but when you say something, you're talking like your politicians. They say nothing.
All right.
And that's why I guess you can't have anything, because they don't say anything. So it's hard if your leadership doesn't give you any talking points. So what are the Democrats' talking points? Tell us, the ones that's for the Democrats on here that feeling like rejected or wherever the case may be, what are your party's talking points? Because you should have some talk, because we could talk all day about Trump and what he's doing for this country. Tell us, what are your leadership, what are they talking points? And without mentioning Trump's name. Have you seen the market? That's not a talking point. I said, give us your talking points. You know why the market's like that. If you've been following it, it's because Trump put his foot down, and he wants these countries to pay their full share to America. And yes, we're going through birthing pains. But guess what? 90 countries have come around. And now China mad because everybody's trying to do business now with the United States of America, if you've been keeping up. Okay? China like, look, you know, they thought everybody's gonna be with them. Nah, they all coming to the United States.
Well, someone said I look like I never got angry at anybody.
You?
Yeah.
He is nice. He don't
That's
get
like a
angry.
compliment.
Nah, he don't get angry. Good Patriots. Thank you. Can we talk about current leader promises and results? They want to talk about how Trump got $5 trillion in pledges to build. To build what?
Go back down.
To build what? Huh?
Genuine question. This is a pretty good question. How you feel about other MAGA supporters that are vocal about hating black people?
I don't, you know what? I'm not in agreement with anyone hating anyone. And I don't know if it's MAGA or if it's some Republicans. There's a difference. Like, all Republicans are not even, they don't support Trump. You know, you have Mike Pence, you have like the different older leadership. They don't support Trump. So it's not, I look at some of the Republicans, some are white supremacists, some are racist, but you have racists in the Democratic Party as well. What do you think Biden was? Biden was a racist.
Did they do something with the KKK?
Yeah, they started, the Democrats started the KKK.
Oh, yeah.
They defiled the KKK. You know, so that racism is just not one-sided, one party. But see, we're a child of God, so I'm with the Lord. You know, we don't worship man, we worship Jesus. So, but the thing about it is that you got to know who you are in Christ. People can be racist, but people are racist no matter what gender, what color they are. It's all in America right now. Times have changed. There's a lot of racism on both sides. There's black people that's racist, there's white people that's racist, there's Indians that are racist, there's Asians that are racist. So that's the truth. That's the truth. But you know what? What I liked about Trump is that we came together as one nation under God. That the reason and the way that he got elected was by the people. Blacks, whites, Asian, Hispanics, Latinos, Indigenous, Indians, Asians, we all put him in office. That's how he won. There's no way he should have won Pennsylvania and some of these, all the swing states. There's no way he should have had the popular vote, but he did. He did. And the people have spoken. So no matter what, and you know what the Democrats are? They have the Democratic supporters running around committing what they doing? They just try to burn down a governor's mansion. They're burning Tesla stations. They even another, I'm gonna do a story on him. Another teenager killed his parents and they was plotting on and trying to kill the president of the United States. That's the mindset I mean, they're young. He's 17. Just like the last one to try to kill Trump. They're not even old enough to vote. He's 17. You can read this, what she said. I mean, come on. I mean, what's wrong with the children? That's all this hate that's being spewed, and that's what the Democratic Party, all they keep doing is hate, hate, hate. And the people are hating, hating, hate. They ain't talking about...
Someone said something funny.
What?
Okay, I'll read that too.
Okay.
They said, but yeah, Kevin said, Democrats are really acting like our country was on track with Biden and Harris. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. The people can't even now see what they said.
And someone else said, Cindy, speak on this. The same people that have spoken are the same people coming out nowadays talking about how the Trump they voted for is the Trump that's losing them money right now.
But you know what? The thing about it is that you have to go through birth pains. There's no way that there's not going to be no birth pains. There's no way. I'm just trying to put this comment. I need people to be subscribing.
Dude, this is all Democrats do. It's just insults.
They said that
attempted
speak
insults.
on, what was it again?
What?
You said they said speak on what?
Let me check. I don't see it.
How you feel about the return child? This lady saying, hey, what mentions Democrats, mention other word. What?
Yo, some people in the chat are weird. Hey, some people in the chat are really weird.
You know what people don't understand, I think it's like our lack of understanding about what Trump is doing and how the tariffs, like, it's hard right now, but that's because Trump has put everyone on notice.
Yeah, we want a Trump third term.
He had to put everyone on notice because we couldn't continue to allow Canada and all these different countries to continue taking, and especially China, to continue to taking advantage of America. Like, y'all just want us to be passive and don't understand that what he's doing, guess what? You're going to see the results of it. Okay, they're coming to the table. That was the whole point. Get them at the table. The whole point was to have them to renegotiate. This is the whole point. And when you're in business and you're a leader, sometimes you have to make hard decisions. Who else has brought money into this country? Name me what president has that's been bringing money into this country. I want to know who in Trump was bringing money to this country his first couple of weeks in office. Who else has been trying to build up the economy, bringing jobs here? Guess what? He said you won't be affected by tariffs if you build in America. So now we got companies that are coming here to do business, like Apple, like Hyundai, I believe. And it's a lot of people that are coming here that's going to have jobs. Guess what? There was going to build factories in Mexico. That stopped. So we're going to have factories back in Detroit, Michigan. We're going to start building our cars back here. Okay? And people are tearing up the Teslas. Guess what? They're owned by Democrats. It's like people want to fight for, green earth and all of that.
Yeah,
and
Republicans like gasoline.
And it's terrible what's happening to people who have nothing to do with these political agendas or issues. They just like the car.
That was so funny. I remember seeing the video like a couple days ago. And it was a guy posting a video. He's like, "See, someone just did this to my Tesla." He's like, "And I'm a Democrat. I voted for Kamala Harris."
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Those are the people that actually own the cars, and that's what they're going through. But that's how deranged, and that's all from the media. The media, if you turn on today, the only thing they talk about is Trump. That's it. They don't talk about, and they talk about all about the illegal immigrants, like fighting for them. But where's the fight for you? Where's the fight for you? What are they doing? Your legislators that you're putting in office, what are they doing for you? What have they done for you? You elect these congressmen and women, and guess what? They're supposed to be for the people. Where are they at? Where are they at? Did you like what Biden did? You like that inflation he caused this country? You like the open borders? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Democrats in 96 wanted this with video proof. Yeah. It's like, thank you so much. We appreciate it. It's like, you're not really looking at it. It's something else when you're adults and you can't even admit. Like, don't just be, and you know what? I never watch any other news, but I thank God for social media and content creators, because you have people that have no skin in the game, like us. People that just want the truth. I want the truth no matter who's in office, no matter. And guess what? The transparency. Do you think after Trump's in office that a Democrat is going to have open executive board meetings and he's going to everybody he meets with every day? And he don't use no script, no teleprompter, because he's real. You think they're going to do that? When have we ever had anyone speak to the American people like this? Every day. And he has all his Avengers speak to the media every day. They all have to speak. All. I've never seen the president's executive board like that. And he puts the whole thing on air. And those thirsty reporters, now they got questions, but they never ask Biden anything.
Oh, you hear it. You just don't want to accept it. You're choosing to act like you don't hear it. But
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe so this can go out. But we want to get back to Zelenskyy. Because if you go back, you can look at my videos, go on Speak the Truth 2.0. That I already did one Zelenskyy, showing who he is. He's an actor. He's a comedian. And Zelenskyy doesn't want the war to end, because what happens to people is once they get money, and it's always about power, he wants to remain president. He's not trying
Thank you. Appreciate it.
to step down. He's not trying to even do a deal with the United States. That's why Trump isn't as interested. He came to the United States, what was it, a month or two ago? And he was supposed to he came to sign the mineral deal. Guess what? He still hasn't signed it. Guess what? He's talking about he wants President Trump to come to Ukraine.
Thank you.
He's saying, oh, Trump need to come so he can see it. No, he doesn't. He need to stay here, take care of the United States. That's what he needs to do. But what are we getting out of it? The man still wanted to sign the mineral deal. And Trump said that's the way we could get back some of our money that Biden gave to that country. UK, they signed a mineral deal with them to get their money back. They loaned them the money. We didn't even give a loan, and we are broke. We're United States. Guess what? This is breaking news. The United States is broke. We're broke. Bank of America is closed. Bank of America is closed. You know, you got $1 billion, you got $1 billion, you got $1 billion, it's over with. We don't have any more money to give anybody. Now we need $1 billion. We need $1 trillion. We need 36 trillion. Okay? That's real. Because if we don't take care of this debt, our country is going to collapse. Do you believe that's the truth? Do you believe that's the truth? You think that we could continue with $36 trillion debt and nobody does anything about it? That's what Trump is trying to do. And we got to hope, and we got to hope that he's successful. We got to hope that he's successful. Why the United States trying to broker a deal with Ukraine? Stop paying your bankers and banks when they fail. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, China. Yeah, we haven't given money like we given to Ukraine, you know, and they still want more, and they're not our responsibility, you know. They're not. And the United States, that's what Trump said. Why are we doing more than Europe? You know, why are we doing more? And if Zelenskyy doesn't come to some agreement, guess what? Putin's going to take more of his land. And that's why Trump said you need to end this sooner than later. Because you're just giving Putin more time to take more of your land, because you can't beat Putin. And we're not going to fight your war, because if we fight your war, that means the whole world is going to be fighting, and there will be no Ukraine, there will be no Europe, there will be no United States. The whole world is going to be destroyed. We can't fight your war for that land. And he needs to be negotiating. 18 billion to Israel is not 350 billion to Ukraine. Look at the difference in the number. You're talking about 18 billion to Israel in comparison to 350 billion to Ukraine. That's not even, you don't have a leg to stand on. That's peanuts compared what we have done for Ukraine. Peanuts. It's peanuts. He's delirious. He's not, what have we gotten? It's not our shared responsibility. We're helping even more than Europe. It's their shared responsibility. We've gotten nothing. And he wants more. He wants bodies. He wants bodies. He wants Putin to keep on firing so people can see the dire need, so then Europe get more involved and want to draw the United States into this endless war that's not going to end well. He couldn't even say what we got. We need, this not no share anything. He's not even part of NATO. We don't have any ties with Ukraine that we support. And any American that feel like they want to fight this war, they're welcome to go over there and die for Zelensky. Because you need to listen, hear what some of the people, there are videos out. Go on YouTube and see what some of the people are saying. Some of the people that are fighting against this man, what they're saying about him. How they're shutting down people that's speaking out against what he's doing. That's why they're calling him a dictator. You know, this not no share anything. He is really getting on my last nerves.
For their support, their strong support. But the people dying right now,
Yeah.
with all due respect to the U.S. and Europe,
No, you don't respect us at all, dude.
for another, we will end this war.
You gotta hear this again.
The U.S.
60
on manufacturing
Look at
American
60
weapons.
minutes.
What would you say that the American people
Papa Smurf made a good point. He was replying to the people saying we gave the military aid, not money. And he said that the military aid, the military supplies costed us money. So technically we did give them money.
Well, you know what? There's a list, and I have it on one of my other broadcasts. You got to go in there with the, but it breaks down all the monies, how it went to medical, weapons, tanks. It like they got a long list of things that went to the war in Ukraine. And Trump made a good point. Like, why are we paying more than over Europe when they're right there? You know, that's more their problem than it is our problem. And we keep taking eyes off our own country as our country continue to be destroyed and is plummeting. You know, we got to get our economy back up. The inflation, it was an issue. All these issues that we have here. And then Biden had audacity to give us a problem we didn't have when he opened up our borders and allowed this mass invasion to come into this country that's unsustainable. That's what happened. So Trump got all these problems. Like when Biden had taken office, the economy was great. There was no inflation. There were no wars. None of that. Interest rates were low. People could buy houses. We didn't have these problems. Those are facts. Now look what Trump got left with. Things don't change because he got sworn in a couple months ago. It don't change that fast. Okay, they had 4 years to destroy this nation. And we got this man talking about but, and we're getting nothing back like it's okay.
have money?
What?
We have
Someone said Zelensky bought a $34 million mansion in Florida.
Yeah, he got a $34 million mansion. How he has all this money being president? Where the billion? He told me he can't find $1 billion of the dollars. And 60 minutes are, you know what? This man is from the devil. See, at the end of the day, if y'all really been following Zelensky wants us to fight his war. He said we're big, we're powerful. He wants us to fight, and he wants a World War III, and he knows it. He just wants Putin to do enough that will alarm the United States, that will alarm Europe, that they will go and fight this war. There will be nothing left of Ukraine if there were to be a World War III, and that's a fact. There'll be no Europe, okay? It would be chaos around the world for that little piece of land, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And he needs, and it's flatlands, he needs to be doing, and then he still didn't even do the mineral deal. He's not even working anything out with the United States. He act like we're supposed to do it. When he asked him what America's getting out of it, nothing. He's talking about, oh, this is a share. This is not a share anything.
Someone said
it's not a share anything.
Someone said Russia started the war, so what are we talking about?
Russia started the war. Okay, you happy that we all can confirm Russia started the war. We had a week behind administration with Biden. He on vacation, 40% of his presidency. Wasn't running the United States. That was a beautiful opportunity to go in. Okay? They took advantage because we didn't have any leadership. Russia started the war. How are we going to end this war? That's the answer to that question. How are we going to end the war? How are we going to end the war? And remember, this is not the United States war. This is not our battle. This is not our war. This is not NATO. It's not a how are we going to end the war? Now everybody want to say, they say, oh, Trump said that Ukraine started the war. Oh, Trump said, no, okay, we know, okay, Russia started. We're going to say Russia started the war. How are we going to end this war? Because didn't you just hear Zelenskyy talking about, oh, we need to have a world war? Did you hear him? Trump told him in the office, he said, you want a World War III. He wants a war. Because he will remain in power. Because, see, your presidents, they got bunkers. All the people at the top, they'll be taken care of. They could blast the whole world, and they're going to be protected. It's always about the Benjamins. And it's always about power. Don't you think for 1 minute that man is not even a world leader. He's not a president. He's an actor. He was a clown prior to becoming president. That's who Zelenskyy is. He doesn't know power. He's not a world leader. Okay, that was the worst time to put someone in office and never even been a freaking mayor of a city. You know, no politician background. The only thing he did was play a president in his acting career. And now he's acting in the real world as a president. Putin don't respect him. He wears high heels. He danced like a woman. You seen any of Zelenskyy videos with him dancing and doing all this Vogue stuff? Putin doesn't respect, because they respect real men. He's not a real man. Putin would never respect Zelenskyy.
Imagine being named Bob.
He's not on Putin's level. You know, Putin look at him as weak. But see, what he wants to do, he wants to draw us into his war. He wants the world to fight. He's not going to be satisfied until there's a World War III. And I promise you that's what he's pushing. That's what he's pushing. That's what he wants. You need to do your homework and see who this man is. We're going to put your guy on. Get it, Zelenskyy. Get it. That's the president of Ukraine. That's who he is. He can dance, though. Putin would never respect that. That's Zelenskyy. Look at him. Get it, Zelenskyy. Get it. He's wearing 4-inch high heels. Look at him. I just want y'all to see who this dude is. This is the president of Ukraine. He went from this to president. Go ahead, show him. Look at this man. He's going to grab a man's behind next. Switch them hips. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. That's the president of Ukraine. That's the man. That's what he was doing prior to becoming president. That's who they elected at the wrong time. Now he's a multi-millionaire. He got billions that's coming to his country that's unaccounted for. He's talking about they can't even find $1 billion of the money. He's trying to talk to American media and try to trash our president. And this is the person that people, and you know what? There's videos with the people speaking out how he's not even allowing these people to speak. He's locking people up. He's snatching citizens off the street to fight in their war. That's what they're doing. Y'all need to know who he is. And that's why I just put that video there. Go online. You'll find videos of him.
That Joe Rogan video about what he did.
Yeah, he took his pants off. They got to understand who this guy is. You know, he doesn't, that's the president. That's the president. So when I see him, that's what I see. That's why I don't have no respect for him. And that man, that little imp that doesn't know, there's never been a president before, can cause the whole freaking world going into World War III. That man. If people keep falling for him and his okie doke, he could cause America going into a World War III. That's what he's capable of. You know, something is wrong with that. That's the one that people don't need to see. That makes no sense. But he's dangerous because people are falling for, he's an actor. He's an actor. And people are falling for him. You know, y'all need to see this dude. Zelenskyy. That's Zelenskyy. He wasn't an actor like that. You ain't never seen Trump dance with no 4-inch heels on and shaking his behind. Though you can't even compare him. But this guy's dangerous. This guy can thrust the whole world into a World War III. He's dangerous. This actor. He's dangerous. He wants America to go in and fight. That's what he wants. And I'm glad that President Trump is not Biden. See, he could manipulate Biden, just like we said. Trump is not Biden. He can't manipulate Trump like he did Biden. He can't, like Trump don't know. Trump knows Putin way better than he ever has. He don't know Putin. He never met Putin. Trump knows exactly who Putin is. He knows exactly who he is. And he's trying to act like he needs to see. He doesn't know. You're trying to make your problem our problem. And he wants more of America. And he wants American citizens to go over there and die for his country. And it's not going to just be that. This man he could cause World War III. That's how dangerous he is.
Another thing I just saw.
He's dangerous.
Now, another thing I just saw Trump said.
What?
He said he's trying to stop and put a hold to Iran because they're close to having
a nuclear bomb. We got Iran trying to have because of Biden. They had no money. And now they're close to getting a freaking bomb, nuclear bomb, Iran. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on that the President of the United States is dealing with. And then he got to fight the media here. You got 60 Minutes over there trying to have conversation with this clown that wants us to go into a war. And Trump told him, like if we bring that up, Trump told him, he said that he doesn't want to end the war. He wants a World War III. Trump told him that when he was in the White House. He told him. He don't want to end to the war. I'm see if I could find in one of these videos. He told him. There's a video that we had with Trump when he met with Trump in the Oval Office. He was telling, well, you can read the comments so you can answer while I try to find the...
Someone says something just out there. They say you justify Russia's mass killings in Ukraine. Aren't you afraid of that? If hell does exist, your beliefs might land you there.
You know, well, we bind that up in the name of Jesus. Nobody, it's something how people manipulate like what you say. It's like people take and you say something and then they manipulate it. Nobody says that's what anybody wants. Who wants that? But what they're doing is that this man can thrust us into a World War III. And that's a reality that can happen with this Zelenskyy. You can't play with Putin, but we're not here to fight, to have the whole world fighting. You know, he wants the United States for that to be our fight. That's what he wants. That's what this is all about. And he hopes Russia does more damage. Because he's like Trump don't. Trump knows more about Putin than he ever will. He knows exactly who Putin is. He knows who this man is. He knows how diabolical he is. He knows who he is. And he's talking about, oh, he needs to come. And he knows who he is. He knows who he is.
Someone says Zelenskyy wants peace. You're very...
Zelenskyy does not want peace. Zelenskyy wants to stay in power. Zelenskyy doesn't want any elections. While you have a war going on, the people, until the end of time, he can still, if this war go on for 15 more years and no Ukraine is left.
Someone said if you stand with Ukraine, go there.
That's right. That's what they need to do. They need to go there. You think what he's doing, then that's what you need to do. You need to go there. Because this man is, that man with that little country can cause a World War III.
Someone said a great point. They said they don't even know what a woman is.
And that's been defined since the beginning of time. Beginning of time, a woman has been defined. And it's amazing that they still are trying to figure it out. You know, you can't talk sense into these people because you can't. You can't. They see, they don't know that when you get in that level, all these games are going on. All the games. Like we're going to put in, this is what happened between, and Trump told him, Trump could tell he doesn't want the war to end. He doesn't. And we'll find the videos with his citizens speaking out about the war.
Okay, and for the good of the world, I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, you know.
God bless you
him
too.
either.
Thank you.
So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I can be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 is
2014.
Yeah. So
I was,
he
I was
killed.
not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. That people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president in 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
That's what
right
he
now,
did.
you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front
Democrats
lines
pumped them
because you
up.
have manpower
Let's go,
problems.
JD.
You should be thanking the president for problems. Bringing people into your military?
We have
And do you think that it's
I will
respectful
answer.
to come to the Oval Office of the
I will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your
A
country?
lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. Unless,
You don't know that.
unless you.
All right, you know, got
Don't tell
Trump
us what
mad.
we're gonna feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly what
Remember
you're
this.
doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're gonna feel.
You
We're
will-
gonna feel
you
very
will
good.
feel influenced.
We're gonna feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right
From
about
the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not in a
Mr.
good position.
I was
You don't
opposite.
have the cards right now.
This is
With us, you
news.
start having
No,
cards.
This is on the
Right
news.
now, you don't,
I'm very
you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
Yeah.
You're gambling with World War III.
Tell 'em.
You're gambling
Tell
with
'em.
World War III. And what you're doing is
That's
very
what he's doing.
disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
backing
Standing
you
behind us.
Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition.
He
in
campaigned for
October.
Kamala.
Offer some words of appreciation for the
What?
United States of
What are you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can.
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I.
You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in
That's
our
the
country,
truth.
staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment.
You
And you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about we are
If
speaking?
you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course he has.
It's gonna be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I'll tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
Except
times,
that there-
thank you
except
to
that-
American people.
Except that there are disagreements.
Kathy,
Let's
you need to go to
litigate
Ukraine to
those
fight that
disagreements
war.
Rather than trying to
They
fight
need
it out in
you.
the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there, your people are dying,
tell you
you're
again,
running low
I
on
know.
soldiers.
Don't
Listen,
please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, If you could get a ceasefire
This is our
right
president.
now,
It's
I'll
not
tell you, you take it till
propaganda.
the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a
But I
ceasefire?
said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire.
guarantee.
He said he
Because you'll get a
didn't want
ceasefire
it.
faster than I'd agree.
Ask our
That's
people
right.
about ceasefire, what they think.
And that
It
wasn't
doesn't
with
matter for you
me.
what.
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was with
wasn't
a guy named Biden who is not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your president.
Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me, that was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In
It's
fact, the
not
statement
Biden,
is,
Zelensky.
Obama gave sheets and
It's
Trump
not
gave
Biden.
javelins. You gotta be more
You're not
thankful.
dealing with Biden.
Because let me tell you, you don't have the
Manipulate
cards.
him.
With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any
I
cards.
stand with America.
It's gonna be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
what
She's
if
asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know, they broke it with Biden, because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect
They
Obama.
didn't.
They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony
Obama
witch
was
hunt
just the
where
president.
they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that
So
stuff.
you don't
He had
think that
nothing to do
Biden was
with
a
it. It came out
clown?
of
It's just
Hunter Biden's
amazing
bathroom.
how awful
It
Biden
came out of
was.
Hunter Biden's bedroom.
He doesn't get the grief.
It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if he can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States.
That's
Your
right.
people are very
Those are
brave.
facts.
But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right, we'll see what we can do.
The thing about like everything that he was saying, and this is the meeting when Zelensky came. Zelensky was not supposed to be about talking politics. That's something that was supposed to happen like after they had lunch and they were going to then discuss these other issues. He came there, he was invited, he was supposed to sign the mineral deal a few times and he didn't. So then they made it so he met with him before Putin. And then he came to the White House and he met with the Democratic leadership and they got in his ears. And I guess they told him, look, we don't stand with Trump. You know, this is the time that you can, you know, speak to American people, whatever, and like box the president into a corner. And he let them know, like, you're nothing without us. And Zelensky sitting up there like we need to be in this war. And we don't. We don't. It's not our war. And the way Zelensky sees it, because he doesn't want a ceasefire. He wants Putin to continue what he's doing because he was a clown. He's an actor. Okay, he's not a leader, and he certainly isn't a world leader. And he likes all that money that he's been able to stash, and now he's a multi-millionaire off the backs of the Ukrainians and off the backs of the United States of America, because that's our money that he probably has in the bank. I'm quite sure of that.
Yeah, Dallas, you're not American.
You know, this is about putting America first. And any fool can see if America gets involved and he's saying, oh, now he's saying, you don't have to put soldiers on the ground. Give us the aircraft. Who's going to be flying the planes? Give us an aircraft. And what Trump was trying to do at that meeting, if you guys know what has happened, he was saying if we do the mineral deal, it's going to put Americans there on their land, which then will pause Putin from invading any more of your country. Because then you have to deal with America. That was the whole point. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
That was the whole point. And even as of today, like the 60 Minutes, they just interviewed him on Palm Sunday. Just Sunday that passed. He still hasn't signed the mineral deal. What about signing the deal? We make out, you put Americans then will be on the soil. Okay? That's going to stop Putin from progressing in the war.
Oh, thanks, Terry. Terry
What?
said, God bless you and your son.
Thank you so much. But see, y'all not hearing that. You have to have solutions to bringing this thing. And Trump was like, sign the deal. And then it's easier to do a ceasefire than it is to stop the entire war. It's easier to do that. You have to start somewhere. But guess what? The man don't want the war to stop. He's going to keep losing. He's going to keep losing ground. That's all he's doing. He wants it just to explode to the point that then Europe say, okay, the United States is not going to help, but we're going to send our troops over there. We're going to send troops. So they just going to be dying. They're not going to beat Russia. They're just going to die. Then they're going to be looking at the United States. Well, what are y'all going to do? All the Europe, we're fighting. All of us right now is a big thing because of Zelenskyy. Zelenskyy going to be behind. World War III breaks out and destroy this world. Zelenskyy is going to be behind it because of Ukraine.
I don't understand, like, the people in the chat. There got to be some Americans. Like, why are you for Ukraine? Like, what's your reason being for Ukraine?
Well, they hate Putin. Putin is a dictator. And, you know, just like the Russia here that was going with Trump, United States, it's just like how they talk about Trump all the time. You know, Putin has done a lot of things. But the thing about it, they got the worst leader for Ukraine. This man is not a leader. He's not a leader. And that's what the problem is. He doesn't know how to negotiate.
Yeah, someone said that they're against Russia. Someone said they're for humanity. Someone said just Trump.
Yeah, see, Zelenskyy is the worst person to have that position because he doesn't know how to negotiate. And you know, all this time, all these years, they never even has spoken. Biden didn't speak to Russia. Nobody was speaking. Trump is the one that opened up the communication. Nobody was talking. People were just fighting and dying. And we were just sending billions and billions. That's what was going on. There was no communication going on. None. None. You can't in a war if nobody's communicating. So what they have to do now is Zelenskyy
This isn't pre-recorded.
signs the frickin' mineral deal, then you'll have Americans there. You'll have us there. But he doesn't want that. And Trump is telling him that's good for everyone because then you'll have Americans on the ground. And then if you do something to Americans, which Putin is not going to do because he doesn't really want World War III. He doesn't want the World War III. He just wants more of Ukraine. But if America is there, then that'll stop Russia from taking more of his land. How about that? How about that? So what's your plan? So all the Democrats, and what's your plan then? So what's the resolve? Because leaders, I've always been a leader. Leaders are supposed to have resolution. They're supposed to have solution. So what's your solution? How are you going to, you think that America is going to go and we're going to box out Russia for Ukraine? And China's going to box out United States and Ukraine for Russia? I mean, so we're going to just have this big old World War III. So you have to have solution. And the best way that I even see fit, if you have boots on the grounds with American citizens, that's the smart way to do it. And that's what Trump was proposing to him. And guess what? It still hasn't happened. You know why? Zelensky still hasn't signed the agreement.
Aren't you the idiot?
And that's to get back some of our money. How about that?
Aren't you
Get
the
back some of our money.
Aren't you the idiot for watching us?
How about getting back some? See, they want us to keep giving. Now they want the American lives and keep. We already bankrupt us. We don't have no money. We got our own problems, but no solutions, right? It must be a Democrat. Where are the solutions at? Come up with a better idea. Please give us a better idea. Don't call names or Trump names or be disrespectful. Give us a solution.
They can't. They're just gonna
Give us a solution.
Or say like a sentence that doesn't fully explain.
Give us a solution.
There is no solution.
Give us a solution.
See, like that guy, just insult. That's all they're gonna do.
But see, they weak and they don't have pictures. They be weak. So, and I hate to see cowardly men with little balls, you know, because that's what you act like when you behave that way. I mean, if you're an adult, just have a legitimate conversation. And see, that's what the Democrats do. They just insult and anger and give us freaking solution. Give a solution.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Because I give a solution.
Yeah, someone said they don't have any ideas.
They never do. That's why you ask them, give us an alternative. Give us a better plan. Give us any freaking plan. Okay? That will work. Because I think Trump knows Putin better than all of us. And most definitely better than dancing Zelensky. Okay, they don't even, first of all, they got to respect him. President Xi and the rest of they're not into all that homosexuality stuff. They don't respect him.
Do you think that people don't do you think that people don't actually support Ukraine? They're just so against Trump.
They're just so
Trump's
against
not
Trump.
For, they're against.
He's not, nobody's saying they're against the country, but we've done all we can do. But you got to we had a president that was non-active, that allowed this to go on. He allowed the war to start in the beginning. They could have stopped the war from the beginning. But we had an inactive president that wasn't being presidential. Biden was not on the job. And that's why look all the stuff happened under the Biden's administration. Look all this crap that happened. Y'all not even look at all this. This, like Trump said, this should have never had happened. It should have never had happened. This was under Biden's watch, Democrats. This was under Biden's watch. And now y'all want to come from Trump and this and that. We've given money. And now Trump said, okay, we need a solution. Y'all need to come to the table. They weren't even talking to one another. Nobody was talking. How are you going to end a war and nobody's communicating? Nobody until Trump. But he got so much on his plate. I mean, ending that war is a full-time job because he was getting close to a ceasefire. He was doing it step by step. But how come Zelensky hasn't signed that mineral deal that'll put Americans in Ukraine? Put Americans in Ukraine. Then you got to deal with the big dogs. Then you got to deal with us. But we're not just going over there. And when 60 Minutes, who are sellouts, when they asked him what are Americans getting out of it, he couldn't even say we were getting anything out of the war. Nothing. He just said it's shared responsibility. He said, what are Americans getting out? He told me we gave hundreds of billions of dollars. What is America getting out of it? He couldn't even answer that. Nothing. You're not going to have world peace when everybody's dropping nuclear bombs. And that's what he wants. Sign the mineral deal. Then you have Americans on the ground. And then we could get back some of our money, our taxpayers' money, because America first. If you don't want to do that, like Trump said, okay, y'all don't want to do that. Y'all don't want to sign the agreement. He don't want to do nothing. Don't, go ahead. Y'all just destroy one another. He said, just go ahead. You know, because you're not going to win. You're not going to win. And our citizens don't need to be going to Ukraine to fight for an actor. And that's a fact. Let Europe do it. And anybody that want to can go over there. Y'all can go over there and fight. Because they say you can't hide anywhere. Trump said it's flatlands, it's plains, it's a plateau. So that when you go there, the people just dying needlessly. Because Putin's not winning and Zelensky's not winning. Nobody's winning this war. They're just losing more lives. Every day this continues losing lives. So why won't Zelensky sign the mineral deal? So Americans will be on the soil. Yeah, you need, like you said, solve that Ukraine. I hope you're over there fighting for them, Aiden. You need to be fighting for them. You need to fight for them. Tell me, we're lost. Give us a solution. Give us a solution. That's the whole thing. Give us a solution to end the war. Give a solution to end the war. And the ones that want to support, you have free will to go over there and you could die for Zelensky. That's what you can do. You can go over there and you can go over there and you could die for him. That's what you can do. So don't just say you for him. Go ahead and sacrifice your life for him. Because there's no end to this war like this. Sacrifice your life for him. Sacrifice your life. Sacrifice your life. You think Zelensky's the best president you ever had? Sacrifice your life. You think he really trying to end the war? Because people are trying to give him, everybody's talking to him. People are trying to tell him, okay, we need to end this war. Even Europe been telling him that. They don't want this to continue. Zelensky wants everybody to keep fighting. Because if I knew that I could have Americans on the soil that would stop Putin from penetrating and taking more of my land, then I would be signing a deal to stop the slaughter of my people. That's what he should be doing. Then you would have the American presence there. And see, it's like y'all, like the Democrats or the people that might not be citizens here, maybe they Ukrainians that's not even their own country fighting a war. Because that's where they need to be at. Because he needs y'all. He really does need y'all. Because they snatching people off the streets. They snatching people off the streets. And they're throwing them on the front line. And they're not letting them go until they lose their lives.
Someone asked, have we ever debated live with others?
We welcome it. And that's what we're going to open up the channel to do. We're still growing the channel. So that's what we want to do. It's a lot that have to do with the channel. It's a lot to learn. But we want to bring people on because it's not about having one opinion. It's not about being biased. It's about everyone being able to express themselves, whether they make sense or not. I'm the type of person, I like being a realist. I want to see what's the solution.
Well, you could support Jesus and support the President of the United States. Obviously, Jesus comes first, but you can still support both.
Yeah, God said respect those in authority over you. And he said when the righteous are in leadership, the people rejoice. But when you have bad leadership, the people mourn. So you want to have the right people in office. But what the Democrats have done, they have destroyed this country in 4 years. They have slaughtered. And Trump has a lot on his plate. And we have problems more than Ukraine. We have problems more than Ukraine. You know, we have our own problems here in the United States. And our president is dealing with a lot. He's trying to undo what this administration, the previous administration, has done to this country. They destroyed this freaking country. And if I had known that that was the plan, what they have done, I would have never have voted for them in 2020. I would have never voted for them. There's no way. If I knew what they have done so much destruction to this country that is unbelievable. And now we got this Ukraine war should have never started. It shouldn't have never happened. But because we had Biden, he could manipulate Biden, but there's a new sheriff in town. He can't manipulate Trump. Trump didn't just get on the world stage. He did. Zelensky did. He's new to the game. He's the actor. He's the comedian. He hasn't dealt with world leaders until now. All he knows, he wants money and he wants power. Because why wouldn't you accept the offer from the United States of America? You got the president of the United States of America trying to end your war. You got the president of the United States of America telling you we signed the mineral deal and that'll put boots on the ground and we'll be there in Ukraine. And he still won't do it.
I don't understand how people can trust Zelenskyy.
Why not?
I don't understand how people can trust Zelenskyy. Like, why sometimes he can speak English and then other times he can't?
Yeah, he can speak English all the time. He just does that. They need to be asking why not? Why not? Why not sign the deal that will help your people? If you care so much about the Ukrainian people, sign the freaking deal and put American presence on the soil. That's what he can do.
Rudy, we could tell you're an illegal immigrant. Yeah, God will judge you. And
we got too many people to go back to their country right now. We are born here. We are Americans. We are from our country. We are in our country. This is where we're from. We're Black Americans. We're not African Americans. We're Black Americans. Like this is our country.
Like Will Smith said, born and raised.
Born and raised. Born and raised.
On the playground, spent most
yeah,
of our days.
Yeah, we're United States citizens. And the Constitution and laws was written for Black Americans, not foreigners coming here, having babies here and all of that. It was written for Black Americans.
God bless you too.
This is our country. We are Americans. Whites, Blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, Indigenous, Asians. We are Americans and we're one nation under God.
We say America first.
That's right. America first. And Trump, Trump, Trump. Trump, Trump, Trump. And we're not saying that we agree with everything. We call Trump out. We don't have to worry about it because everybody called Trump out. But they never called out the Democrats. That's what I don't understand that.
Someone said, you know nothing about the rest of the world. Like, that's our job, to know about the rest of the world.
Obviously, you do enlighten us. Yeah. Well, you know, we're not all knowing. Only God is all knowing. We want to be educated. We're not coming on here saying that we know everything, but we know enough. We have common sense. And I see people lack. And nobody can say Trump, Trump, Trump. Nobody. Y'all can look at our other videos that we did with Zelenskyy. You know, look at the videos to really showcase this dude.
These guys in the chat are real weird.
And we got videos with some of the citizens. Then they're talking about, he's been trying to shut them down, talking about what they're going through in their country.
Natalie, okay. Yeah, that's a great point. She said ignore those who are mean.
Yeah. You know, you can't be on here if you can't handle it.
Yeah, we find it funny.
Yeah, you can't be on here. Everybody gets this. You know, but you know, it's like you never know, somebody can hear you because like silence can't be heard. So that's why we got to speak the truth, because when you're quiet, you know, silence can't be heard. God gave us a voice to speak out about righteousness, what's injustice, and just get God-given common sense.
Oh, look what someone said.
What?
They said, you guys keep doing what y'all are doing. You are a beacon in an otherwise dark world. God bless y'all. And as always, Native Americans for Trump.
Ooh, love you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. But we're not on here. It's not about insulting people or belittling people. That's not our intent. Our intent is just using our voices for what we believe in. And I was so engulfed in being a Democrat and just listening to, I thought it was the gospel, listening to MSNBC and all of my favorite commentators. I had no idea that they were the wolves in sheep clothing. The things that they have done and the things that are being, unveiled, that we see what's been happening with Social Security. They are multimillionaires where they're getting money from. The Social Security numbers that they sent out to millions of them and voted in our millions, voted in our elections, all this stuff that's going on in the government. And that's what Doge has been doing. I don't believe in Doge firing all those federal workers, because those are living wage jobs, and hopefully a lot of them will get their jobs back. But the work he's doing with Social Security Department and some of the other government agencies, that needed to be done. You know, there's a lot of wasteful spending. Why are we sending $40 million per week to the Taliban? $40 million in cash Biden been sending since 2021. You can't trace cash. Why? We sent over $3 billion. Do you know that's facts? And they got in Congress going to have to pass legislation to stop it. Why? Why are we doing this? You know, we got all this wasteful spending, and when you look at your communities and your streets, and we have American citizens that are not being fed and don't have housing, we're taking care of everyone else except for us. And that's why I got on board with America First. When I see vets out there, and we got people that aren't citizens that are being treated like royalty, and our vets went over there and gave their lives, and they've been mutilated, lost body parts, they got PTSD, and they are living outside.
Are you gonna put
what?
Trump and Zelensky's current interaction, like what Trump just said about Zelensky?
Oh, the one that they just did today.
Yeah.
The meeting. Well, he had the meeting with It's a partner here. Did they have it? Trump? I saw no Trump. Yeah, talk about Zelensky. No, not that one.
Yeah, Zelensky said some crazy stuff in the 60 Minutes interview.
He's saying like they're doing us a favor.
Let me see.
You gotta find that's him. It's that meeting, but you need to find the clip that he just talked about Zelensky. But yeah, like they're doing us a favor. It's with the El Salvador president and put Zelensky in there. But it's like he act like they're doing America a favor. Like he's like, y'all gonna have to fight. That's what Zelensky said. Y'all gonna fight. Y'all gonna have to fight. Y'all America. Y'all strong. Y'all big. No. That one man is trying to drag us all into a World War III. Because America get involved, then the rest of the world's going to get involved. It's not just like we can fight and you got to put El Salvador. It's going to be a fight with everyone's going to be fighting. And it's all going to start from Ukraine? I don't think so. But the smart thing to do,
Here's one.
is that it?
Yeah.
But the smart thing to do is to, that was it, if it was short. The smart thing to do is to get boots on the ground, have the United States come in there and get boots on the ground. Okay, that's short, but yeah. Yeah, that one is fine.
You muted it.
Mr. President. Wrong. Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. You repeatedly mentioned last night that Russia's attack on Ukraine was a mistake. What is the exact mistake? And have you given Putin a deadline to actually move toward a ceasefire?
The mistake was letting the war happen. If Biden were competent, and if Zelensky were competent, and I don't know that he is, we had a rough session with this guy over here. He just kept asking for more and more. That war should have never been allowed to happen. That war, I went 4 years and Putin wouldn't even bring it up. And as soon as the election was rigged and I wasn't here, that war started. There was no way that war should have been allowed to happen. And Biden should have stopped it. And you take a look at Putin. I'm not saying anybody's an angel, but I will tell you, I went 4 years and it wasn't even a question. He would never, and I told him, don't do it. You're not going to do it. And it was the apple of his eye, but there was no way that he would have done it. All you had to do is lower oil prices. If you lowered oil prices, Biden kept the prices so high because he made it impossible to get it. If you lowered oil prices, you wouldn't have had the war. But you wouldn't have had it with me anyway. That war would have never happened. And I think it's a great abuse. So now what do? You get a country where 25% of its land is gone, and the best locations, where millions of people are killed. You know, you haven't reported accurately the death. And this was Biden's war, and I'm trying to stop it. And I think we're gonna do a good job. I hope we're gonna do it. They lose 2,500 young people a week, think on average. Now they're Russians and they're Ukrainians, but it's 2,000, we don't care, it's like whatever it is. They're not from
Running
your
out of
country, they're not from
bodies.
mine, but I wanna stop it. 2,500, it's a killing field. It's like the Civil War. You take a look, I look at the satellite pictures. This should not be happening in our time. Of course, our time can be pretty violent, as we know. But that's a war that should have never been allowed to start. And Biden could have stopped it, and Zelenskyy could have stopped it, and Putin should have never started it. Everybody's to blame.
Hear that?
IRS E5.
Hear that? Now, he just said that today. You know, you got to find a way to end this war now. It has to end.
Yeah.
It has to, you know, but it should have never started. But we had a non-available president. Biden was the worst president ever in the history of the United States of America. That dude, he caused transgender day. He caused open borders. He caused this war. You got 2 wars were going on, and high inflation, just the economy. I mean, he was responsible. He trashed this country. And then here comes Trump, and everybody tried to put in his lap. They act like Trump was the president for the last 4 years. They got everybody so crazy, so brainwashed. You would have, even while he was running for president, they tried to act like Trump was the president.
Yeah.
They didn't even run on the economy or inflation that they caused. They couldn't run on open borders. They ran on abortion. I mean, on abortion. Eliminating babies. They ran on abortion. They're supposed to run on, they're supposed to show American people, look what we did with the economy, how great the economy is. They supposed to say, look at how we lower inflation. Look how there's no wars. That's what they were supposed to say to American people. But they caused all of that. That's what they did during their term. And they did all of this destruction. It's crazy.
Zelenskyy told us.
Let's
Though this
Oh, watch this. This is what
What is
Zelenskyy said today.
Yeah, didn't we have that? He said what?
This is what he said in response to Trump.
Oh, he responded to what Trump said today in the Oval Office?
Well, he said this.
Look at
today
the
also.
title, huh?
He said this.
doesn't mean we
Oh, that was his 60-minute interview that he did yesterday on Palm Sunday. You put on there.
shouldn't work.
Is that this is not even our war. This is not our war. When you ask this man, and that's the second time we played that, what is America getting out of this? We're not getting anything. Nothing. Only thing we did was our taxpayer dollars. We have no control of what this government does with our money. They just gave all $350 billion. I don't know why that commentator is not saying all the truth. All the monies that we've given to that country, and you always have to look for a solution. We can jump up and down. Everybody knows Russia invaded. Russia took advantage of Biden. They knew that the man was suffering from dementia. Zelenskyy knew good and damn well that he could manipulate Biden. Biden was not in his right mind. But see, he can't do that with Trump. He can't manipulate Trump. He can't BS Trump. Trump is a boss. We have a real president now. There's a new sheriff in town. And so what he's trying to do is that he knows that the war is not going to end without making some sort of solution. You got to find a way to end the war. We know how the war started, but how can you end the war? Zelenskyy has no power. He's standing behind the United States of America. Europe hasn't supported Ukraine more than the United States of America. And like they said, we got a big ocean between us and them. The United States is aware of the fact that if we get involved, for those that's in the GED section, if we get involved, then that's going to start World War III. Because just like NATO has allies, which we are a part of and Ukraine isn't, so does Russia. They have China.
Exactly.
They have President They have Iran. They probably have all these other countries. And they all, guess what? They all have nuclear bombs. Ukraine doesn't have nuclear bombs. They have nuclear bombs. United States is not prepared at this juncture to fight the world and win. We can't. We're trying to rebuild. We gave $1 trillion to China because of tariffs. They're making all the goods because of President Clinton outsourced all our manufacturing jobs, all the jobs. They got slave labor over there. They can't get it here now. You know, black people are free. But the point of it is that we help building their economy and their weapons. $1 trillion of our money went to China, buying China goods. And y'all upset about Trump saying that, no, we're going to charge China 145% tariffs, but all the other countries, we got 90 now that want to renegotiate deals with the United States.
The vegan, we're not the government. It's not our job.
And in a way to bring at least a ceasefire in Ukraine, ceasefire, because we have our own problems. We need our president to govern our freaking country. We need our president. Okay? And he's doing a lot. This is USA, 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 USA. Salute to USA. America first. USA. USA. USA.
Get the USA flags in the chat.
USA. USA. USA.
Everyone post a USA flag.
USA. USA.
Get those Ukraine
We
flags
keep
on
seeing
there.
all this Ukraine, all these other countries always
USA.
fight. This is USA. 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 It's about us. And the way I see it, I'm in agreement with my president. And my president says, sign that mineral deal, which will help rekindle some of the monies that we have lost in this war, because our fake former president didn't do it as a loan. He did it, just gave the money. No loan like Europe. They did a loan. They getting their money back, but not us. Do the mineral deal. It'll put American citizens in Ukraine, which will stop Putin from invading the country more. Now, that's, to me, I don't hear anybody else saying anything better than that. So they can say all they want to, but it's USA. USA. This is USA. And see, if they're from Ukraine, if you're living in America and you're talking about Ukraine, you need to be over there fighting for them, because you're doing your country injustice being in the United States of America. Because here, this is United States of America. This is the USA. So all that Ukraine flag, I don't have nothing against Ukraine. We supported Ukraine. We're giving to Ukraine. The president of Ukraine does not want to listen to the president of the United States of America. And that's his, that's his, he can do that. He don't want to listen to our president, then oh well. There's nothing else we could do for Ukraine.
God bless you too.
There's nothing else we can do. But as far as this country, in our house, America first, it's USA. He could either go along with our president and make a deal with our president, or you're on your own. Because we have our own problems. We have USA problems. We have American problems. We can't fight the world for Ukraine. Ukraine will have us in a World War III. And guess what? There will be no Ukraine at the end of the day. It will be wiped off the map. It will be gone.
Yeah, God bless Israel.
God bless Israel. It'll be gone. But as far as me and my house, guess what? We're going to serve the Lord, and we're going to support the President of the United States, because that's who we elected into office. And we supported Biden, how horrible he was. Nobody said anything about Biden. Nobody complained about the economy. Nobody held him responsible for anything. Not even for them freaking wars. Nobody's been holding that man responsible. But he is. He is. And we're going to hold him. That's why I started this channel. Because I said, if Trump win this election, they're going to try to blame him for everything that past administration did. And that's why we started Speak the Truth 2.0. That's why. Because I wasn't going to allow everybody to put it on his back. He didn't start any of this stuff that's going on. And everybody knows it. They might not want to admit it. But this was going on years before Trump got into office. Okay? Sleepy Joe did this. And this is USA. You know, you don't respect our country. Your country is open. And you should be there fighting for it. Because your president, he's not our president. Zelensky is not our president. Our president is Donald J. Trump. That's our president. And if you feel that way about Ukraine, you need to be over there fighting for your country. Just like our American citizens, we have to fight for our country. We fight for our country. We fight for our country. That's not our country. We've done more than the rest of Europe, than everybody put together. We've already done our part. And then y'all don't want to make a deal. Y'all don't want a ceasefire. Y'all won't sign the mineral deal. Y'all just want us to keep giving you weapons. Now you're talking about we'll buy weapons with the money we gave you. You want to buy weapons now with our money. That makes a lot of sense. Or we'll buy weapons. Or just give us planes and go fly. No, I think that everyone that wants to support, don't just be in the chat. You need to go over there and sign up for your countrymen. And that's what Americans do for our country. We have enlisted soldiers that fight for our country. And that's what you should be doing. You know, instead of being on American chat or American stream, you're not helping them like that. You should be fighting for your country. You need to be fighting for them because this is USA. It's the USA. It's the USA. And we are American citizens. And you must not be American. You know, you need to go back to Ukraine and you need to sign up with Zelensky because this is USA and it's America first. And we support our president. And like I said, his name is Donald J. Trump. And we're for Trump, Trump, Trump. And we want him to look out for our welfare. And we already had a president for the last 4 years that put the world first. And did nothing for us. Nothing. Nothing. No other country does put everybody else before their citizens. Well, that's what Biden did. That's what our former president and vice president. They put the world and the Democratic leadership. They put the world before United States citizens. And they're still doing it. They still campaigning against the president. Still putting illegal immigrants, still putting everybody, wars, they putting everyone before United States. And we don't have anything against people, nothing against them, but we need to focus on our citizens. And that's only right. And all the countries in the world, China does it. That you can't go, Ukraine, go to China and demand China to do something about the Ukrainian war. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go to Europe. Go anywhere and make the demands you make for the United States. Go there and see who they're gonna put first. They put their citizens. Go over there and talk to them because it's not our war. But our president is trying to do his best, but that administration left a lot on his plate. And he has a tough job. And I'm thankful that he knows how to govern. He knows how to make deals. He knows how to put us back on our feet. And he's transparent. There's never been an administration. They show us every executive board meeting. They show us every news conference. He takes questions even on Air Force One. He takes questions from everyone without scripts, without teleprompters, unlike the other people. He allowed you to ask him anything. His whole administration is transparent. They're actually working for the American citizens. We haven't even seen anything like this. We haven't seen any, and we need him to be focused on building back our country and our nation and taking care of American citizens. And that's not just like Zelenskyy or all the other leaders of the world. They're taking care of their citizens. And we need our president to take care of his citizens. And that's Americans. You know, and that don't mean that we're not helping. We are helping. But I just think that to help and get nothing back, not even respect, that's a problem. We're helping and we get nothing back. Nothing. He don't even want to sign a mineral deal to help us. You know, it's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Y'all ever heard of that before? He doesn't want to help America to get back some of his money. Not they giving us anything, to get back what we've given. You did it for Europe, but you won't do it for us. You know, so he going to sit on it, and he wants Putin to continue to destroy Ukraine so he can holler, fire, pants on fire. Look what they're doing. Look, he needs to fight for his people. Like, look, we need to come to the table. We need to end this war. And I want to work with you, Trump. Trump is not flying over there. We got our own problems. And when he came over here, he tried to use our media, listen to the Democrats, to try to go after our president.
That's something I just saw on my phone, too.
What?
Someone in the chat keeps saying that Zelenskyy offered us $50 billion to pay for aid.
Well, he offered us $50 billion. Do you know what y'all sound like saying that? We gave him $350 billion. What he giving us back? He giving us back our money. It's like we giving you more of our equipment, and you still using our money. We're not breaking even with that. How about we do the mineral deal and we don't give you anything else? How about that? We do the mineral deal. That's how we get our money back. We don't get our money back with you giving us money we gave to you. We already gave you that kind of money. And then you want to buy more of our equipment, but with the money we gave you. I'm like, hey, outlaw, this is it's absurd. That's not a deal for us. They're going to say they're going to offer us $50 billion.
No, he said that's the best option.
The best option is putting our boots on the ground and signing that mineral deal. That's how we get our money back. Not us giving him more equipment, buying it with the money we gave you. No. We're not making money like that.
AKA, I'm not into men, I'm into girls, man.
We're not getting money back like that. So no, that's not the deal. We want him to sign that mineral deal like he was supposed to do like a month ago. When he came and then he hijacked our media, listened to the Democrats, and went against our president. So that's how we win. Not you getting more of our equipment. We're not making money like that. You're getting $50 billion worth of equipment. That's not giving us we buying it with our money. That's not, no. Do the mineral deal. That's how we get. And then we have boots on the ground. And then that'll stop Putin from gaining more land because he's not going to fight with American citizens there.
Don't you realize weapons cost money? Weapons aren't free. So we still technically gave him
Yeah, he's also being investigated. What did you say, outlaw? Zelenskyy also being investigated for his trip to Pennsylvania. Yeah, he went to Pennsylvania supporting Kamala and them. He supported the Democrats. When he came, he set the media up. He came, he was not supposed to be talking about war and discussing it. He came to sign the mineral deal. And that was like the third or fourth attempt that he was supposed to sign it. And he still hasn't signed it because he wants a World War III. He wants us to fight. He wants to say, oh, look what's happening to us. But what is he doing to stop it? What about the whole 4 years Biden was in office or 3 years the war was going on? They didn't communicate one time to stop that war. They didn't do anything. Like Trump said, it should have never happened. They did nothing to stop it.
Yeah, and the weapons still cost money, like I said.
No, buy. Then that's 50 billion of our that's 50 billion that we gave them, and then they're getting $50 billion more worth of equipment. So that's $100 billion they really getting from us. We're not gaining. It's not like they're giving us 50 billion and we got 50 billion back. No, they want $50 billion worth of equipment. So we're not making money. You're getting more from us. We're not even getting our money back. Now you got money. You got 50 billion to spend. Get out of here. No. Do the mineral deal like Trump put on the table and put American boots on the ground, and that'll stop Putin from invading and taking more of your land. Because what he got, you're not getting that back. You're not getting that land back. That land is gone. That belongs to Russia now. You know, unless you're going to kill every Ukrainian person, because they all going to die. You're not going to outdo Russia. You're not going to outdo them. So, like Trump said, you know, do it that way, or y'all just going to all, you know, pretty much go up in smokes.
All right, can we get something?
Yeah. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. We're hungry. Thank you, Outlaw, for coming on. We've been on here for a minute now, but we got to eat. So thank you. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so when we come on, you can join us. But this is going to go on. But I think that Zelensky going to continue until? Do you think Zelensky is on his way to causing a World War III? Because that one man in that country can actually start a World War III, and that's what Trump kept saying. He could. That's what this hill dancing comedian actor can start a World War III, and that's what he's trying to do. Trying to get sympathy from the world. He's not trying to stop the war. Because you should, like, if you're a real leader, you, by all means necessary, you said, look, we need to come to the table. Okay, Putin have this. We still have 80% of our land. Let's keep it that way. But we don't need any more of our young people and our military dying, because they snatching people off the streets. They don't even have people to fight. They need bodies. And now he's talking about, oh, well, don't send bodies. Y'all just send us planes. Who's going to fight us? You still trying to get us to fight your war. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Oh, you're welcome.
How are we consuming propaganda when I could tell you already you watch CNN and ABC?
And MSNBC
CBS.
and CBS and Morning Joe and Rachel Maddow and all of them. Yeah, I was on them too.
We're
Yeah,
doing the opposite of what Black people typically do. Also.
Well, anyway, you guys, we gotta get off. And thank you so much for joining us. God bless you. You know, just understand this is just discussion. This is not talking against. We want that war to end. We don't want, like Trump said, you don't want all these people to continue to die needlessly. You want the war to end. But you're not going to end the war unless you have some sort of solution. Period. Not just saying hateful comments, not just saying salute Ukraine, but you're not over there to fight the war. It's not our war. It's about, we got to be USA, about Americans. Putting America first, like the rest of the country, the world.
And why don't you look up Bill Mayer, who just had a conversation with Trump and changed his total opinion about Trump once he met him?
Once he met him. Yeah.
Saying,
changed my opinion too.
They're saying, why don't you talk to people who actually work with Trump?
Why don't you talk to people that work with Biden? Talk to people who work with Kamala. It's the same token. Trump didn't destroy this country. They did. Why don't you talk to them? Talk to them. They're the reason why Ukraine is in a war right now.
All right, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Like you. God bless you. Yeah. Well, anyway, leave your comments. Like we do answer, you know, we do like the feedback, and we'll get on here because the stream, once it's over, we can't read it and respond to it because it vanishes. So when you leave comments, then we will respond to the comments. Like, are you in agreement with this war? Do you think that Zelensky wants the war to end? Do you think Trump wants the war to end? Do you think that this is going to continue? You know, so just, you know, thanks you guys, but we got to get off. Bye.